Are you truly ready to witness the total disintegration of everything we hold dear in Port Charles, or will you just sit there and watch the Empire burn alongside me? If you ask me, the tension building up as we head into June 2026 is reaching a boiling point that I honestly didn't think we would survive. I can't help but feel like the air in the city is thicker, heavy with the scent of betrayal and long buried secrets that are clawing their way to the surface. We have watched these characters for years, building their lives on foundations that seem solid, but I have this nagging suspicion that it is all about to collapse. It feels like we are standing on a fault line, waiting for the massive earthquake that will shift the landscape forever. Guys, you have to understand that when Michael plays these twisted games, he is not just manipulating a narrative, he is playing with fire that could burn his own house down. I am watching him closely, and I see a man who thinks he is the master of puppets, but he is clearly losing his grip on reality. It feels like he is pushing a narrative that will inevitably backfire, exposing things that were never meant to see the light of day. Our hearts go out to the victims of these games, but we must also prepare for the fallout that is coming for everyone. Maybe I am overthinking this, but something about the current situation with Brooklyn and Chase doesn't sit right with me. We know they are being forced into a corner, but what if their forced alliance is exactly the catalyst for the truth to explode? I keep coming back to the idea that Michael's obsession with breaking Willow Tate is going to lead him straight into a trap of his own making. If you ask me, Willow's becoming the biggest liability in his entire scheme because she knows too much. She is no longer just a pawn, she is becoming the person who holds the key to the entire kingdom. When the secret of the hit and run comes out, it is not just going to destroy their reputation, it is going to shatter the trust within the entire Quartermain family. I can see it coming, guys. The way the pieces are falling into place, it feels like an inevitable tragedy that we are all forced to watch in slow motion. We are witnessing the slow motion destruction of a family legacy, and I truly fear for what remains once the dust settles in June 2026. Let us talk about the history that just won't stay buried, because honestly, I think we are ignoring the elephant in the room regarding the late Delilah. If you ask me, she is not just a ghost of the past. She is the ticking time bomb that will blow up the entire Ethan storyline. There is a chance that the connection to Phoebe goes much deeper than we ever imagined, and if Ethan is involved, the shock won't just be about his parentage. I suspect that people have known the truth about him for a long time and have been using him as a pawn in a much bigger, more sinister game. Ava thinks she is the one holding the blade, but she is just the one opening the door for a scandal so large it could take down half the town. I have this sinking feeling that she is way out of her league, and by the time she realizes it, it will be far too late to run. We are talking about layers of deceit that span generations, and I think we are only scratching the surface of what is really going on behind closed doors. The truth might be more complicated than it looks, and that is what terrifies me the most. I keep coming back to the situation with Curtis, and I have to be honest with you guys, it feels like a massive setup. Why would someone want to destroy him specifically? It seems that he is being groomed as the perfect scapegoat, and Isaiah is just the instrument of a much larger power play. What if there is a massive cover up within the medical or legal system that they are trying to hide, and Curtis is just the sacrificial lamb they are using to keep the lid on it? I think this goes way beyond just professional negligence. It feels like a systemic rot that is eating away at the core of the city. If Curtis fights for his life, he is going to drag Trina and Kai into a vortex of danger that they are not prepared for. I am watching these patterns, and it seems like everyone is being played by a hidden hand that we have yet to identify. I might be wrong, but I feel like we are about to see a complete dismantling of the justice system as we know it, and it will be a bloodbath for anyone who gets in the way of the truth. Then we have the situation with Jocelyn, and let me tell you, I am absolutely losing sleep over this. Um, if you ask me, she is not the end goal. She is just the bait. When she finally manages to escape, and we know she is clever enough to do it, she is going to bring with her evidence that will shake the foundation of everything Carly and Brennan believe in. She is holding something, guys. Something so volatile that it could rewrite the history of the entire city. I think we are looking at a conspiracy that involves the highest levels of power in Port Charles. Think about it. Why would she be kept alive if she didn't know something that could ruin a dangerous person like Valentine or Nina? It feels like the walls are closing in on all of them. I keep thinking about the implications, and I am convinced that the moment she steps back into the light, the darkness that has been hovering over the city is going to be exposed for all to see. The potential for chaos is simply off the charts, and I am here for every single second of it. I can't help but feel like the chase involving Britt and Rocco is leading us towards something far more dangerous than just a simple getaway. We are seeing these characters being pushed to the brink, and when they stumble upon the secrets tied to Sidwell or Cullum, the stakes are going to skyrocket. This is no longer just a hunt, it is a full scale war. Britt has spent so much time on the defensive, but I think the tide is about to turn. She is holding the keys to a conspiracy that could potentially expose the corruption that has been bleeding this town dry. It is nightmare fuel for the people in charge, and I think that is why they are so desperate to catch them. We have seen how ruthless these people can be, and if they think their secrets are at risk, they will do anything to keep them buried. I am genuinely worried about what is going to happen when these paths finally collide, because I don't think anyone is coming out of this unscathed. Looking at the way things are unfolding in June 2026, I have to ask myself what it all means for the future of our favorite families. We have been loyal to these stories for years, but what if our loyalty is being tested by the sheer amount of suffering these characters are being forced to endure? It feels like the writers are stripping away every defense they have, leaving them exposed and vulnerable. I see Michael turning into a person I barely recognize, and I see Carly fighting a losing battle against forces that are far more calculating than she ever expected. It is a masterclass in tension, but it is also a reminder that in Port Charles, love and family are often the first thing sacrificed on the altar of ambition. Does it ever make you wonder if any of them can truly win, or are we just watching a slow, inevitable decline toward complete and total ruin? I keep coming back to the thought that perhaps the most tragic thing about this entire situation is that the people who started these wars are the ones who will ultimately suffer the most when their own legacies crumble into dust. When the dust finally settles and the last secret is dragged into the harsh light of day, will it be worth the price they paid? Or is this just the cold, hard reality of lives built on nothing but the shifting sands of power and pride?